Peace, peace, peace. What's good, family? I am coming live from Harlem. I'm in a park right now, and I've just been thinking about some things. As many of you know, I've been posting a lot about the anti-vaccination movement, and I think it's really time that someone spoke up and said that the anti-vax movement has blood on its hands. It's the adherents spew false information, misinformation in the middle of a pandemic. And as a result, they are the ones actually that are dying. Some of the leading critics of the COVID vaccine, as well as the mask ruling and the shutdowns, are some of the main people dying. Just yesterday, I've been posting about this guy named Caleb Wallace. You can look him up, Caleb Wallace, C-L-A-B-B Wallace. Check out his videos, and he died yesterday. He was only 30 years old. He had three children and one child on the way. And I also just read about and posted about Jacqueline Jackson, the wife of Jesse Jackson, who's unvaxxed and in the ICU. Last check, yesterday she was on a ventilator, but today they say she's not on a ventilator, but she's still in the ICU and she needs air and getting air, however that works. And she's unvaccinated, whereas Jesse Jackson, who has Alzheimer's, is in rehab, recovering from COVID. And she said she didn't take the vaccine because she was worried about pre-existing conditions. Well, that's the main reason that you take the vaccine, because of well, not just that, but I mean, that's a good reason to take the COVID vaccine. And, you know, if pre-existing conditions in Jesse Jackson's case is his Alzheimer's. So let's go, people. Now, I, like many of you, was a big skeptic all the way until maybe February or March of last year, when I started actually doing some real research. And as I've said on several videos, if you look behind every false, misinformed video or protest or somebody talking, it's always a white man, sometimes a white woman, that has something to sell. You know, a lot of times the leaders of the movement, they'll tell you about the problem so they can sell you the cure. Dr. Mercor, from Dr. Mercor to former Dr. Andrew Wakefield, all of these people are paid behind the scenes to spew their BS about vaccines. And, you know, I really look at people a little different now. Because it's one thing to be misinformed about vaccines, but it's another thing to be arrogant about your misinformation. And you think that herbs are going to sell it, or you say that it's pre-existing conditions and everything else. But when people get sick, they go to the hospital. You know, when the people say, Jesus will heal me, they'll still go to the hospital. So why not just stick to your herbs? Why not just stick to, you know, your Jesus, your idea of Jesus? Why not just take loads of vitamin C and zinc and this whatever dewormer, I can't even pronounce it, the dewormer medication that others have been taking and poisoning themselves with. And I think at the end of the day, we're gonna have to, a reckoning has to happen with these anti-vaxxers that are spewing the misinformation. These people have blood on their hands, and it's not funny, and it's not like me just being over the top with it. Like, people are actually dying because of the misinformation. You can look it up every day. Somebody new, a leading anti-vaxxer, is dying as a result. And I think when this is all over, we also have to address the misinformation movement that exists in this country. There's a misinformation movement in this country. And people have gotten lazy because now all you have to do is click on something. They don't read anymore, but generally people don't read anymore. All they do is go to YouTube video and other conspiracy caves or whatever. And I think at the end of the day, people are dying because of the misinformation. People are dying from being unvaccinated. People are dying from not wearing masks. And you guys, you know, not you guys, but you know, people don't understand a pandemic is a serious thing. It's not a political thing. It's not a culture war. A pandemic is a pandemic, and it happens. It happens probably every 100 years or so. The last great pandemic was 1918. And it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a game. And if you still have this thought that vaccines are bad at this point in 2021, August of 2021, I can see if it was August of 2020, it just tells me that you stopped studying, that you stopped researching, if you ever even started. It also tells me that you haven't, that you have I think it's called confirmation bias. You will only accept information, that really confirms what you already believe. And at this point, we're probably at a point of 5 billion people have gotten at least one shot of the COVID vaccine. We're approaching 55% of Americans, so-called Americans, are fully vaccinated. Now, if there was death and ailment and all the rest of this stuff from the vaccines, we would have heard it by now. Somebody would have got the scoop, put it out there, Fox News, this and that, we would have seen it, but we don't see it. You know what I'm saying? We do not see it because it's not true. They've been working on this vaccine for 20 years now. You need to look that up. This is why it was called COVID-19, because it's been 19 years of people people doing research in this. And what keeps vaccines from being developed usually so fast is the money and the red tape. And one thing we can give Trump a little credit for, he cut that money, he cut that red tape. So they was given a massive amounts of money to get this thing developed and cut the red tape, and worked on the research that they were already doing. Now, I'm no big fan. I'm no fan of Big Pharma at all. Hate them. But in this case, the producers, they have the ability to produce massive amounts of vaccine. And what we need to do as a movement, or whatever we call ourselves now, is develop. I don't want to say corporations, but develop companies that can produce health products and vaccines, so we don't have to depend on Big Pharma. But for right now, honestly, vaccines are saving lives, and unvaccinated people are dying. And so y'all can believe what you want to continue to believe, but if this was Tuskegee 2.0, then they would only be offering this vaccine to black people. Even with Tuskegee, they never gave them anything for their syphilis. They didn't give them penicillin. They withheld it. They waited for these people to die, and then they examined it. But a lot of us are so damn stuck on history in the wrong way that we don't even do the research, fundamental research. And half the stuff we eat, we don't know what's in this stuff. Some of y'all getting butt injections. Some other people are getting lip injections. You don't know what's in that stuff. You don't know what's in ibuprofen. You don't really check and search. You don't know what's in Tylenol. You don't know what they put in our food. You don't know these things. You don't know a lot what's going on. You don't know, what's in the air a lot of times. What's in the water, but you drink it and you use it. So anyway, what government is going to poison its people? And what company is going to create a technology that will implant chips in you that will kill you? Why would vaccines companies do that? Why would a Bill Gates create something that would kill his customer base? Why would a country create a vaccine to depopulate its people? In fact, as I've mentioned several times before, the most vaccinated continent on the planet is Africa. Yet it is the fastest growing continent in the world. By the end of this century, and most of us will not be here for that, there will be more people in Africa than there are in China. So if that was the case, of these vaccines being unsafe, this wouldn't be the case. And anybody that's traveled around the world knows that you need to get a certain amount of vaccines. And the great majority of y'all had to get vaccines in order to go to school. And I know some of you guys got the religious exempt and all this other crap. But at the end of the day, most of us already have 8 to 12 vaccines already in us. And if you don't take a vaccine for yellow fever, you don't take a vaccine for, I don't even want to say yellow fever, chicken pox or measles, you could die. Now, that's real. Catch hepatitis, you can die. A lot of us take all these vaccines. Polio, we don't have polio as a result. We don't have smallpox because of vaccines. So y'all really need to truly educate yourself on vaccines. This is not a political thing. And to me, Black love matters, Black lives matter, and that also extends to people, Black people that have gotten COVID, other people that have gotten COVID as well. Y'all all Black lives matter until it comes to COVID and vaccines and saving Black lives. And our Black lives are the main ones being taken because of COVID. That's why I'm looking at a lot of you guys side-eyed at this point. So-called activists, so-called organizers that aren't saying anything about COVID or talking the same misinformation that these racist, pandemic, eugenist, Trump supporters are talking about. You know, how smart are we? Or we are on the same side as people that don't want us on the planet. Racist people, colonists, Klansmen. Man, y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to wake up. Probably not y'all that's watching this, but other people that will be watching this. You know, a lot of my followers, a lot of my supporters already know the deal, but some of y'all don't. Anyway, man, wake up. This anti-vaccine movement is not for us. It's not about us. And at the end of the day, it can kill us like it's killing them. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to put this on my, try to put this on Instagram, but I'm definitely going to put this on my YouTube channel. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Support the channel. You know, let's get this up to 2,000 people. Support the PayPal and the Cash App. I'll post that after I post this video up. And get vaccinated. I've been vaccinated since March. And I'm fine. I also took my flu shot. Never had the flu one day in my life. Anyway, love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Peace.